What is going on, everybody? Darrell, the Whiskey Saint here, back for another Whiskey Wednesday review, guys. And it's going to be a little bit of a conversation piece as well on top of the review that I'll be doing with you. Just kind of want to talk about some brands that could potentially put out some crazy, crazy single barrels. And some of these brands are kind of slept on to an extent, not talked about much, since you got a lot of bigger companies and bigger brands, distilleries putting out some really good stuff as well. I kind of wanted to touch base on some of the ones that may just fly under the radar. So if you are new to our channel, hit that like and subscribe. And thank you to everybody else that has subbed. We just hit 2,000 subs, guys, and we're going to be partying with you guys a little later tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Hello again, whiskey friends. It's going to be a blast. Do not miss it. We're about to kick this show off. Cheers. Welcome back, guys. And we are just going to dive into this bottle. What we're going to be reviewing today, guys, and it being one of the, three bottles that I'm going to highlight in regards to some potential stellar single barrels, is a new pick that I got literally maybe a week and a half ago, 2 weeks. And I've shared a little bit of this and I've drank a good amount of it, and I'm going to have to slow down. What we're going to be talking about today, guys, is a Traverse City Whiskey Company straight rye single barrel. And this was actually picked from a group. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's called Barrel Thieves out of Michigan. This is bottle 107 out of 150. And this thing is a monster. You can tell, like, I've been already putting a dent into it, and you can see that color on this whiskey. Like, ridiculous for a rye. You're not typically getting a rye that's not double oaked, at a color like that. Granted, it is pretty aged, but it's still pretty darn dark for what it is. I'm going to pour a little bit of this up, guys, and just chat about it for a bit, because this thing surprised the heck out of me and out of everybody that I've known that tried it so far. And that's why after today, I'm probably not going to touch this until close to the end of the year, because I definitely got to have some for our whiskey tournament, because I know that thing's going to be in our top 20 of the year for sure. You'll see at the end of this video where it ranks for me currently, and I don't think many's going to really go above that score. We shall see. Like, I haven't drank much and reviewed much for 2024, so it's a little skewed in terms of where it ranks, but the score itself isn't skewed, just that ranking. But we're going to dive in on the nose on this, guys. Cheers, everybody. Join in. Cheers, everybody, to help us get to 2K. Let's go in. Oh, man. This thing's crazy. So it is 10 years, 11 months. I'm going to click over on here so you guys can see some of the stats, right? So Traverse City Rye, single barrel. They're based out of Michigan as well. This bottle was $120, coming in at 120.6 proof, 10 year, 11 months. For a rye, you're not really seeing many ryes on the market that really go above like that 10-year age statement. So I was a little worried, because everybody talks about, ryes aging faster than bourbons, and that's kind of the reason why you see them, sub 12 years for the most part. So I wasn't sure what to think of this, but those who picked it were talking it up, and sometimes you may think that the people that pick it may talk it up because they're picking it, so it's always that little worry right there. But this group in particular has been putting up some stellar whiskey, so I do put my faith in them, and I trust their judgment when they're doing some picks. So I didn't think it was going to be bad. They did say it was going to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be this good. But enough on the nose. Let's go for a sip and let's talk about it a bit. Oh, man. Like this is pretty crazy. So it's everything that you kind of get in a normal 95.5 MGP rye. Like you do get that rye spice. I wouldn't say it's like a pine note, but there's no denying it's a rye, but it just carries itself so good. Like it's so much oak, but not by any means overpowering. It just drinks well above its age. Like you would think this is maybe a 13 to 14-year-old rye. Like, and I have Booker's Rye, which is a couple years older than this, that has a very good oak profile. And I'm not going to say this is similar to that profile, but it gives you that same sense of age that you would get off something that's, a couple years older than what this is. This was just shy of 11 years, 10 years, 11 months, as you can see. But the oak is, you can't hide it, and it helps with that MGP rye, because I usually could just pick that up instantly. It's just a certain like citrusy, bright note mixed in with like kind of pine that I normally get immediately on MGP, and the oak is kind of hiding that a bit, which I actually like. Yeah, oaky, dark, citrus. It's almost like if you threw orange peels, like not on like a fryer, but like almost like baked them in a sense. It's like a charred, like citrusy orange peel with some lovely sweet oak. Oh my God. The oak on this is just nuts. I love it. Ugh. And that first sip was crazy. We're going to go in for another sip, guys. Just gets better with each sip. Oh man, that's such a good pour. But let's just talk about this a bit. You guys are used to some of our reviews breaking down every individual score. We're trying to simplify things a little bit now, so we're kind of giving a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or 2 thumbs up, depending on how much we dislike or really like something. On a nose, I got to give this 2 thumbs up, guys, or 2 thumbs up. Like this thing is just nuts. So much oak, so much vanilla. You get that citrus punch. The spice is there. The rye is there. Like I rated this a 9. Just because I've had a couple ryes that maybe were just slightly better on a nose. But guys, if you nose this is probably going to be one of the best ryes that you've tasted in a very long time, if not the best rye that you tasted. This thing is that good. Oh man, it's pretty crazy. On the palate, matching the nose, I got 2 thumbs up on that as well. Like everything just sits on your tongue, and I want to show you how viscous this is. I'm gonna twirl this, all right? And what we're gonna do, we're gonna hold this up to the camera in about 10 seconds. I'm trying to get it as close as I can to the rim of this glass, so you can see the legs on this whiskey. Like it is ridiculous. Like this thing just sticks to the inside of your mouth, your cheeks, your tongue, and just coats it very nicely. Full transparency, this thing for me was all 9s and all 10s on every single category. Nothing under a 9 for this whiskey. Like it's good. And let me see if the camera will pick it up, guys. But you can see, like, it's a halo around the top of that glass, and it's just going to drip all the way down. Like you can see it already just dripping. Like it's so thick and viscous, like, and that's what just keeps it on your mouth. Like right now I'm still tasting the flavor, not as crazy, but it's still there. It's just so good. So good. Finish, guys, it's all falling suit. 2 thumbs up on the finish. Like it is just sitting there. Like I said, it coats your mouth so nice that just those flavors just literally just sit on top of your tongue. Look, it has me like slurring almost, which is pretty funny. But yeah, just the flavors are just constant. Takes a good probably minute to maybe a minute and a half for those flavors to finally like dissipate off your tongue, which that's what I want. You know, when you're drinking a whiskey that's barrel proof, you want to get that intense flavor. You want that to sit there. You want that finish to be great. You know, you don't want 120 proof whiskey that falls short, right? This for me was pretty constant from front to mid to finish. The nose, like everything about this whiskey, I think, in my opinion, is just great. You know, is it the best I've ever had? No. Is it one of the best I've ever had? Definitely. You know, I could definitely put this in probably top 10 ryes that I've had. Um, Definitely had a lot more bourbons than ryes, but I've had some really good ryes, you know. And on that subject, which we'll get to shortly, there's another rye that I'm going to showcase from the same group, or actually, no, a similar group based out of Michigan as well. But another stellar bottle, which you guys might have heard me talk about, you know, a couple times. So just want to highlight the brand, you know, along with Traverse City. But if you can look at our rankings or my rankings, guys, flavor on this 92.5, which is pretty nuts. You know, experience score 90, and the value. This bottle was 120 for the experience. The quality of the whiskey in this single barrel, like if this was 200 and I knew how much or how good it tasted, I would likely probably pull the trigger at that price. Like it's that good. This is very good, good whiskey. We're going to skip over to this slide and just show you. Final score for me was a 92 on this. I believe my whiskey of the year last year scored a 93, you know, so this is like literally right on its heels, you know, and there's no denying that this is going to be in our top 20, probably top 5. You know, if the numbers are pretty similar to what they were last year, top 5, top 10 for sure. You know, if you look at my 2024 ranking right now, I've only scored new bottles that I've got for 2024, and it's only been 6. Like I've definitely reviewed some more bottles in 2024, but some of them were, you know, some single barrels of stuff I had prior, and or bottles that didn't come out in 2024. So I just solely stuck with the bottles that were released this year, and I just haven't purchased any, you know, for different reasons, but it does rank number 2 out of the 6 that released this year that I reviewed. And if we go all time for me, I got 78 reviews, and this is number 6, you know, so that kind of says a lot. That's, you know, that's higher than top 10%, you know, of all the whiskeys that I've reviewed so far on this channel, you know, to score 6. And it's like probably like a 5-way tie. I believe there's like 5 bottles that ranked right around that 92 range. You know, then there was a couple, well, 5 more that were just slightly higher than that. But this is a killer bottle. And I just want to highlight another brand that you never really see come up or people talk about. But some of their single barrels can be absolutely ridiculous. This bottle right here is a New Holland single barrel rye whiskey. This one here is just shy of 5 years. You know, it was barreled in August of 2017. It was bottled July of 2022. So literally 4 years, 11 months. And if this bottle released in 2023, this would have been probably my favorite rye or favorite whiskey. I believe this scored like a 93, as well as the Hard Truth that I did. But that Hard Truth released last year, this didn't. So that was the only reason that this wasn't in our top 20. But this may be better than that. Like just the dark berry, and just look at the color on that, guys. Like it's a rye. Like, come on, that is absolutely ridiculous. I said the Traverse was dark. Like this is darker than that. You know, like this thing is crazy brand. You know, are all their single barrels that good? No, you know, but like I said, I just want to showcase some brands, some distilleries that just can put out some hitter stuff, you know, especially if you're on site digging through, you know, trying to find those. One more, which you guys heard us talk about as a channel, is Copper and Cass. This year, they are putting out some killer, not even just Copper and Cask in general, but a lot of these 7-year, 8-year MGP that are getting brought to the table this year for 2024 have been killer. This specific bottle was a bottle that I helped pick. And a lot of you that probably follow the channel probably had a chance to try this and or maybe own a bottle. But this was stellar. It was kind of, I wouldn't say a one of, because there are a couple similar ones to this. But what Copper and Cask is doing now is elevating them. You know, they're still not getting really talked about as much as I think they should, which is kind of good. Keeps everything on the back burner and makes it readily available, right? You know, who doesn't want like some 7 or 8 year MGP that is really, really good that nobody talks about? That's me. I want it. Don't talk about it. Let me buy them. You know, let them sit on a shelf. You know, I can send them to people as gifts. And it's fun having really, really good whiskey that, you know, people kind of don't know about to an extent. But I did want to shine a little bit of light on it because it is a good brand putting out some really good single barrels. Their batch stuff could be hit or miss, but a lot of these single barrels as of recently 2024 or late 2023 to 7 and 8 year old age statements, be on the lookout for them, guys. Like, they are doing some crazy stuff. This Traverse City is just absolutely bananas. You know, my mouth can run on and on and on about that bottle and some other bottles that I've had this year so far already. But we're going to keep it short, keep it sweet. Guys, 8 o'clock Eastern tonight, 2,000 sub celebration on the channel. Come hang out with us. It's going to be a blast. Thank you for hanging with me so far. We're going to end this off. Cheers, guys.
Jeff, just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello again. Oh, Jeffrey, you should just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello again. Oh, Jeffrey, you should just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you